Hello, I'm Daniela. In today's video, I'm going to show you my slow stitch page from a fabric book. Now, this book is part of the series From Inspiration to Implementation. It's where I take something inspiring, an idea, a thought, something in the news, any spark, something that intrigues me, and I create a fabric page using slow stitching. I'll use fabric and stitches, sometimes some other elements into my work. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I slow stitched a page inspired by the whale shark. Now, the whale shark is a giant filter-feeding shark, and it tends to eat only tiny fish or things that it can just inhale essentially through its filter. I have a friend, a biologist, who just loves whale shark. Those are her things. She calls herself the shark lady. And so she's always inspired me and intrigued me by her love for these sharks in particular. Recently, a news article came that there was a whale shark spotted in the Gulf of Mexico in an area where they're not usually spotted. So finally, I had enough triggers and I was inspired to create something in my fabric book. So based on the coloring and the spots on the whale shark, I decided that I'd make little French knots to make the little dots that are found on the whale shark that make it so unique. So when I started doing that, I soon realized that I needed quite a few to work out. So here's my page and just some thoughts that I had while creating it. So in studying the whale shark, I found out some really interesting things. They're large, they're filter feeders, they're sharks, they look like whales, resembling whales, they have a long lifespan, all these different things, and I recorded them in my journal. I recorded their eyes and their dots, and by drawing it, I kind of got to see things that I noticed but kind of worked out in my mind. So from there, I took it to the fabric where I found some blue fabric to use for the actual shark silhouette. And I included that, and I just stitched that down. That was my first step. And then from there, I wanted to embellish it, but my intention was to really make notice of the repetition that I see. And so that was for the spots on the whale shark, and it's actually very tactile here. There's just so many French knots. It took me a few hours to make all of these. I did have to pull some out because they weren't particularly terrific. There are some that I left in that I really should probably redo, but I just like it overall. I have the shape and I have the dots, and then I needed something to kind of help show the scale of these whale sharks, these incredibly large creatures. So I just made some fish and some smaller fish. And I also wanted to really emphasize the shape. So I made a partial swirl here and just really tried to focus on the currents of the water and make them look like that. So I worked out all the things that I saw in the whale shark design that intrigued me. The size, the repetition, just the overall beauty of these really huge creatures. I like that they are a shark, but that they don't go for people. They like just the fish, the small fish, and they're filter feeders. So whatever they can just suck in their mouth is what they take in. They don't hunt these things down. They just kind of, like a pool filter, whatever they can catch in their wake, they take. So I added this to my fabric book, made this page, sewing them all together. And because I had already done a page behind it, I have the completed page. So that's how I created my whale shark page. I was sparked by a few things. Something in the news, my friend's affection and excitement for whale sharks, and just my love of learning about things in the environment near me, and my love of the ocean at this point. Now, your inspiration doesn't have to come from something that you physically encounter. It can come from your imagination, or something that intrigues you, an idea, perhaps something in the news, just like with me and this whale shark. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for letting me discuss the creative process with you. If you have ideas on how something in the news sparked your interest, or gave you a call to action, please comment below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for joining me today.